Hello, welcome to the Find Yourself Fit online training. In the next 30 minutes, I am going to give you the recipe to feeling incredible in your skin again, and it's probably not what you think it is. Today, you'll learn my top 4 mistakes that are holding most people back from easy and lasting weight loss. Specifically, I'll teach you what to change about your nutrition program so it actually works. My secret to weight loss and fitness that no other fit pros are telling you, and how it literally makes all the difference. The one thing you're probably thinking that's keeping you from the body that you want, and what to do about it, and how to stop relying on willpower, because it will always leave you hanging. I'm guessing you're here because you're a woman who doesn't recognize her own body anymore. And maybe you've tried it all and you're tired of it. The quick fix fad diets that leave you hungry, feeling like a failure. The insane home workout videos that leave you jumping around your living room, peeing a little, of course. The boot camps, the cleanses, the body wraps, the shakes, the bars, the Garcinia Cambogia, the fashion massage for the tough spots. But maybe what you're most tired of is feeling tired, discontent, unsettled, unmotivated, self-conscious, and stuck on a wheel of comparison with negative chatter in your head. Maybe you're wondering how you actually ended up here in front of the mirror saying, how did I get this body? And I know, you might be thinking, she's gonna tell me I can cinch up one of those sweaty waist belts and lose 20 pounds, or take these magic pills and drop 3 sizes in my sleep. No effort required. But I am definitely not going to tell you that. Because 1, good luck making changes without any effort. And 2, I have no desire to add one more to-do on a never-ending list of things you're trying to incorporate. So don't worry, I feel you. Really, I was just like you. And what I'm sharing with you today is simple enough that it's actually doable, but it's also effective enough that it amazingly works forever. So here's the disclaimer. What I'm gonna teach you is so easy and so beautifully doable that you're gonna be tempted to think, nah, that can't possibly work. Yes, I see you. You've gotten into a pattern of taking care of everyone around you, checking things off a to-do list, and being constantly overwhelmed so that this couldn't possibly work. And you're so used to a whole lot of effort with such little gain that you're going to be tempted to discredit this as not working before it even starts. But I promise you, this is the real deal, and it's like nothing you've ever heard before. I will help you find your way through the weight loss and fitness maze back to you right now. And you're gonna commit to listening with an open mind and becoming the hero of your own story. Cool? So let me ask you a question. Are you ready to actually have what you want? The body, the energy, the libido, the motivation and passion in life? And are you wanting to do less to have it? Let's start by taking an assessment. Answer either yes or no to the following questions. Grab a piece of paper and just write down a Y or an N. We'll tally your score at the end of this. Are you tired way more than you want to be? Are you confused and frustrated that nothing you've tried before to lose weight has actually stuck? Do you feel judged and inadequate at the gym by yourself? Do you think weight loss means huge restriction and an inconvenient life for your family? Do you wrestle with mom guilt, fearing taking care of yourself means not being good enough for your family? Are you embarrassed, ashamed, or even disgusted to get naked around your significant other? Are you beginning to feel that way even with your clothes on? Has your sex life suffered because you're uncomfortable in your skin? Has your low energy and low libido gotten so bad that it's actually affecting the quality of your relationship? Are you missing authentic excitement or passion in your life? Are you getting a ton of busy work done, but feeling empty and somehow dissatisfied? Are you comparing yourself to that mom who seems to have it all together and wondering how she's doing this life thing so much better than you? Have you ever stopped and just wondered, who am I anymore? Not as a mom, just as you. Deep down, do you sometimes just wonder what you're doing here? If you've got more than 2 yeses on your paper, I've got good news and better news. The good news is that none of those problems I just described are the real issue. And so you don't need to fix each one individually. The better news is that I'm going to help you go deeper to where all these seemingly separate problems originate so you can fix the root cause. Are you ready? Great. By the way, I'm Claire Pearson. I've been a personal trainer for over 10 years. I own a fitness studio in Colorado. I've competed twice on American Ninja Warrior. I'm a nationally qualified NPC bodybuilder, and I am a stay-at-home mom of 2. You might be thinking, that's great for you, Claire. Sure, being fit's easy for you because you own a gym. You're an American Ninja Warrior. Well, that's just the shiny story that people see on the outside. The American Ninja Warrior, AKA Supermom. I wasn't always fit, and I certainly wasn't always happy. I want to share my journey with you because you need to know I was just like you. My mom didn't buy 9-year-old me jeans because my stomach was too big for the right length jeans. In middle school, they called me Thunder Thighs. By high school, I was incredibly self-conscious and unhappy inside. And I masked that with drugs and alcohol. And by college, I was lost. I was really smart, I got great grades, but I had no direction. I felt worthless, and I couldn't stop turning to food to fill that hole. My parents had permanently left the country, and I was so alone. Then I met my now ex-husband, and I became totally dependent on him for my happiness, my identity, my security. We got pregnant when I was 23, and I spent those young years drinking and eating a lot. Soup bowl-size ice cream treats nightly, whole pizzas to myself, giant plates of nachos. I should have seen the warning signs with my husband. He struggled with alcohol and anger, and we frequently were screaming in front of our little baby. And I didn't know how to handle these things. I would just eat and drink more, pretending that everything was fine as I socialized with what I had pegged as normal moms. And I did my best to raise another human. So by the time I was 30 and pregnant with my second kid, my husband had scored a cushy job that took us out of the city to the little McMansion suburbs. We were in the middle of nowhere. I was disoriented and confused. So there I was, a young mom of 2, frumpy and pudgy in every way, struggling to figure out who I was. I had no career, no direction, and I was seriously hurting on the inside. My life was laundry and homework and Target runs and stressing over what to make for dinner and secretly worrying that all the other moms were doing it way better than me. I felt somehow so empty, and I didn't know why. And one night I just snapped. I was eating one of my giant bowls of ice cream, watching mindless TV, exhausted from caring for everyone else. And this super fit girl was on this show I was watching, and I lost it. Just crying everywhere. I knew I had to do something. I couldn't call this life. I was dying on the inside, and I just knew there was something more in me. I knew I had more to contribute than clean laundry and dinner by 6. I knew I had to find this thing and bring it out into the world. And I knew it would start with feeling more comfortable in my own body. I definitely didn't think I had the time or the right to care for myself when my kids and my husband needed so much. It was my job to care for them. But I was also so angry at myself for letting myself go and pouring so much into everyone else around me instead of into me. And I was just at this point where I couldn't tolerate who I'd become or keep ignoring these huge parts of myself. I loved my family, but I wanted more for my own life. And I knew it wasn't even fair to them because they weren't getting their mom at her best. And that was enough to fuel some serious commitment to making changes. So that night, instead of finishing my ice cream, I made a promise to myself. I was going to do whatever it took to be my best self so I could feel better than I had ever felt in my life and look like the sexiest mama on the block, if I'm being honest. I made that promise to myself and also to my family. I wanted to be the best mom I could and have unlimited energy to give to my kids and give them all the attention that they needed because, let's face it, they grow up way too fast. And I wanted to enjoy them and not sleepwalk through their life. Yes, I doubted if I could really change. Really, I had no idea if it was even possible. But I was so fed up that day that I promised I would do everything to try. And I lost 40 pounds in 4 months, going from a size 12 to a size 0. I had been a size 12 my entire adult life. I had no idea that this size 0 person was even in there. I had completely assumed that wasn't even possible for me. I could buy any clothes I wanted. It all looked good. I could do pull-ups and push-ups and run. I had energy. I slept well, and I felt good. But more than all that, I noticed what this new body had done for my mind. I had an identity. I wasn't just a mom or just a wife. I was that strong girl, going to the gym, drinking her shake, and doing it. I was proud of myself. I was making good decisions, practicing self-discipline, and for the first time in a long time, I believed in myself. And I knew if I could do this, that I could do anything. And I started dreaming about all the possibilities for my life. All the career options and cool travel destinations, great relationships, financial abundance, peace and love and joy. And I felt a motivation to go for things that I had never felt before. For 2 years, I was unstoppable. I studied for fitness certifications, landed an awesome personal training job, honed my nutrition approach, started writing a blog. I was just doing it. And then overnight, it all stopped. A motocross accident resulted in a serious concussion and strict orders to stay off the bike, which I did not do. And the next time I rode, I severely tore my ACL. And I had surgeries a few days later, and I began the extremely painful road to recovery. And it was a really dark time. Having developed this big new identity as an athlete and a fit girl and having that taken from me, I was so afraid I'd lost it for good. But I put in the physical therapy work and it was totally healed 6 months later. And this was so important to me because being fit gave me mental strength. Fitness was my outlet. And for the next year, I crushed it. I mastered strength training and weight loss, cycling, trail running. I was competing and winning, setting my sights high with big athletic goals and dreams. But then I tore my repaired ACL. And a couple months later, I tore my rotator cuff in my shoulder. And then I tore it again. And then I completely blew out the meniscus on my knee. And I spent 3 years going through 5 more massive orthopedic surgeries and recoveries. And at first, I kept the motivation up, working out as much as I could on the parts of my body that weren't hurt, writing in my journal, focusing on gratitude, doing what I could, taking one day at a time. But with every surgery, I would sink a little bit more. I knew I was losing my fitness level, but more so, I was losing my identity. I was sitting all the time, starting to eat junk whenever I wanted, watching bad TV, filling my days with meaningless activity, forgetting how good it felt to have goals and energy. I was in emotional pain, knowing I'd lost everything I'd worked so hard for. And I sat in the dark one night, just wailing hysterically, just mourning this loss of my amazing identity, and feeling once again directionless and stuck, unhappy, unable to go back to what I really loved, and really entirely unsure who I was again. And I thought, am I just a mom now? Am I just a suburban wife in a marginal marriage again? Am I just mushy and boring and lacking passion and drive? Am I one of those people just skating through life and waiting for it to be over? So in the dark that night, I realized I had lost my mental strength, and that is what made me lose my physical fitness, those abs and sexy ass. It wasn't losing fitness from surgery that made me mentally weak. It was the other way around. And from that moment, the rest of my life was born. 4 years ago, I got to work. I studied the psychology of behavior change, self-discipline, goal setting, affirmations, the law of attraction, meditation, self-talk, habit creation, effective action, intentional behavior, anything I could get my hands on that focused on getting control of my mental state. Because I knew if I was ever going to be fit again, and fit forever this time, it would be because I was mentally strong. I left my husband, which was the scariest and hardest thing I'd ever done. I had no idea how to be alone, how to raise kids alone, how to make money, but I finally trusted myself. And I loved myself enough to make that really hard choice. I opened my own fitness studio, focusing on the exercises I believed in, the nutrition I knew worked, and the mindset training and support I guaranteed would get my clients lasting results. I became a nationally qualified NPC bodybuilding figure competitor, taking first place in 4 categories, and I competed twice on American Ninja Warrior, which was just the coolest thing ever. So now my body and my mind are lethal weapons, giving me a take charge, live life big attitude that will not be lost again. So let me ask you, how would your life look and feel if you were to make that same promise to yourself that I did? If you promised to do whatever it took to look and feel like your best self, what would you be able to do that you can't do right now? Would it be having the energy to play for longer? Would it be having the mental focus and attention to listen to those stories that your kids are telling? Would it mean having the energy to get a babysitter and have an incredible date night that ended well? Would it mean going to the beach in the summers and not feeling ashamed of your body? Would it just be walking around in the world as a proud, confident woman? The good news is I am going to show you exactly how to get there and exactly why you might be where you are instead. These principles changed my life so massively that I started carefully honing and testing them with my personal training clients. And those clients were so successful that I knew I had to continue spreading this information. And what I'm about to share with you are the easiest, simplest keys to permanent weight loss and finding yourself. And they have worked again and again for the women dedicated to implementing them. So before we get started, I want to be totally frank with you. Where you're at right now, the struggles you've been through, it's not your fault. The whole health and fitness industry is messed up beyond belief. It's no wonder that it's next to impossible to find your way. It's hard to trust anyone anymore, with everyone pitching the next quick fix and hundreds of different meal plans and methods that are supposed to get you to your goal. It can leave you incredibly confused and unfocused and totally ready to give up. So it's my goal to get you past all that confusion so you have a crystal clear idea of how to get and stay fit. So let's dive into the most common mistakes you're likely making in your fitness journey. Mistake number 1, thinking weight loss would be so simple if only you could follow that one meal plan. But you can't because it's restrictive and unrealistic. So first and foremost here, ladies, recognize that you've been set up to fail. If you've been legitimately trying to lose weight for the past several months or years, I can guarantee that you've been set up to fail. No matter how closely you follow the instructions on whatever diet you're currently following, it's most likely not going to work out because you're not being taught the total picture of what you need to succeed. Because all these nutrition programs are just that. They're programs. And a program suggests a start date and an end date. But you don't need a program. You need a lifestyle. Programs are notoriously bad for lifelong changes. Programs are by definition a short-term change. And despite all the fancy promises of programs, they don't help you create new habits. They only depend on willpower. And we all know just how easy willpower is. So let's take the keto program, for example. Even if you are successful here, most aren't, but do you really want to eat keto forever? No, of course not. I mean, even if you like the food, do you really want to be restricted to it while you're traveling or at a friend's house or visiting family or when you're celebrating a special night and you want to go to a nice restaurant? So what do you do when you're done eating keto? Or when you're ready to prioritize living your life over meticulously managing your diet? So if you're sitting there thinking, I don't know, well, then you've identified the real problem with keto and Atkins and Slimgenics and any other short-term diet program. These programs provide nothing for sustainable life going forward. So most programs are setting you up to fail because they're failing to give you all the tools you need on a long-term basis to make permanent changes. So when you go back to what you were doing before the program, the weight slowly comes back. And then you feel like a failure. And then next time you finally try your hand at this weight loss thing, you've already got your guard up. You're already sure that you're gonna fail. And so you put in a little less effort than that first time. And you get fewer results. Does this cycle sound familiar? This was the exact problem my client Cynthia had. Cynthia came to me after her 40th birthday, feeling lousy. She was convinced there was something wrong with her, that she just couldn't get it together to follow her latest 4-week fix plan that she'd chosen. But right there on our call together, her problem became so obvious. Every quick fix she could find on Google left her feeling restricted. She either felt hungry or unable to enjoy life with her family, and then she'd give up. So within 8 weeks of working with me, she'd lost 9% body fat after turning 40. And the part that blew her mind was how effortless it was for her to feed herself and her family and feel like she was eating pretty normal. She's been able to travel and celebrate birthdays and go out to eat with her family without gaining weight, and most importantly, without feeling any guilt. So here's what I want you to learn. Any successful approach to nutrition has to gracefully and easily transition from a program to a lifestyle. You have to be able to take your program on a family vacation and a date night to a birthday party, everywhere. In order to experience true transformation, you gotta turn off all the noise around you about eat this, don't eat this, and understand that healthy eating for weight loss is a lifestyle, not a program. It's a health journey, not a weight destination. It has to be a way of life that works for you and your family so you can create new habits that make losing weight and keeping it off for good possible. And once you start eating for life, you don't feel restricted. You don't fall off or binge eat. You're not starving. Then you enjoy the process and you stick with this new way of eating long enough to see results. And you get off the hamster wheel. So that brings me to mistake number 2. Thinking you have a food or an exercise problem. So you've probably heard it a million times. The reason you're overweight or lack energy is because you have a negative relationship with food or exercise. A lot of people think this, but it really is a load of BS. You don't have a negative relationship with food. Just think about how much you enjoyed it the last time you downed that tub of Ben & Jerry's. That was good and enjoyable. The real problem is that you might have a negative relationship with yourself. So let me repeat that. One real reason you might be having a hard time to lose weight is because you might just have a negative relationship with yourself. Need some proof? Think about how much you loathed yourself after downing that pint of ice cream. Having helped hundreds of women lose weight for good, I know the entire fitness industry is missing this one crucial key to lasting weight loss success: mindset. Here's the deal. Whatever actions got you here, out of shape, out of energy, overweight, unhappy, those same actions will still be there once you lose the weight. And those actions are controlled by your deepest beliefs about yourself and the world. So what you believe dictates your actions, and your actions dictate your outcomes. So losing weight without changing the belief patterns that got you overweight, it's like changing your oil when you have a leaky tank. The process is difficult, and your problem comes back again. However, when you approach weight loss as a mind and body transformation, everything becomes simpler. When you change your mindset, the way you talk to yourself, what you believe is possible, how you approach goals and failure, when you really start to believe in yourself, every pound you lose is gone for good. Once you notice your patterns of thought and begin those mental changes, you open yourself up to an entirely new world of possible outcomes. This is the realization I helped my client Jill make. She was a part-time working mom of 2 who had just turned 48 when she booked her epiphany call with me. She had tried everything, she said, and everything worked for a little while, but it was always excruciating, and she always gained the weight back and then some. I actually got on a call with her personally, and she told me she was looking for the meal plan that she could stick to forever. She totally thought that she had a knowledge problem about which plan to choose. But as I asked her more questions, she revealed the real thing that I knew was holding her back. She didn't actually believe it was possible to lose weight without massive sacrifice and struggle, let alone keep the weight off. And because she didn't believe it was possible, she kept telling herself that she was trying, but her actions were so not trying. And I was also listening not just for what she was saying to me, but for what she wasn't seeing. I quickly realized Jill had some serious limiting beliefs about herself. She kept using words like always and can't and struggle. And because she didn't truly believe it was possible for her to lose weight, she only put in effort for short periods of time, looking for quick fixes and affirming her beliefs when she couldn't stick to those quick fixes. Of course, she couldn't restrict herself like those quick fixes required. And that led to self-loathing, followed by thoughts like, I suck, I'm a failure, this just wasn't in the cards for me to be sexy and strong. I mean, it's no wonder she kept failing to get the results she wanted. Her mind was wired to stop her success. And so we worked on remotivating her to believe in what's possible. Literally, in 45 minutes, I helped her understand more deeply what she really wanted from losing weight and how her thoughts were sabotaging her from getting there. Jill chose to sign up with me, and after putting in the mindset work and changing her limiting beliefs, she's lost 30 pounds and has kept it up for the last 4 years. Once she got rid of the negative mindset, she got rid of the weight for good. When I work with clients to develop a new mindset, I teach you my methodology of finding your why, rewiring beliefs, manifesting what you want, coping with roadblocks, and so much more. I get you to the place of authentic pride and belief in your own capabilities to have whatever you want in life. I realize you might be thinking, I came to a masterclass on getting in shape, Claire, not on mindset. And mindset is a whole other problem I just don't have time for. I know. But when you really understand just how important mindset is, when you see how it impacts every second of your day, and when you start to make changes to your mindset, losing weight's just so much easier. I've seen it hundreds of times. The truth is that releasing any skepticism you have about the power of your mindset is key to losing weight and feeling better than you did in your 20s, I swear. And you might also be thinking, mindset, isn't that just completely hardwired into who I am as a person? So yes, we live in a culture that makes us think we can't really change our personalities. But so much research shows that your brain is far easier to change than you've been led to believe. There was one study where researchers broke participants into two groups. One group practiced playing piano an hour a day, while the other group just visualized practicing. And at the end of the week, the group who had only visualized made the same gains in their playing ability as the group who actually practiced. That's incredible. In another study, participants spent 1 hour a day thinking about flexing their bicep. And at the end of that study, bicep strength had gone up 13%. Seriously, it's amazing. In another study, a bipolar patient presented with a verified disease while in one personality. But when in the other personality, no signs of the disease, full remission. Like, how is it even possible? This is how impactful your thoughts are in controlling your body. So this isn't an overnight process, but there are so many things you can do right now to start positively affecting your mindset. And I'd like to walk you through one of those exercises right now to begin this process of changing what you think is possible. So if you're not already, get yourself into a quiet place where you can close your eyes for a minute. And then with your eyes closed, take a deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. And let's do that again. Breathing in and out real slow. And so now, let's breathe again. In real slow. And then let that out. And then let's just take a scan of your body. From your head, scanning for where is there tension. Just going all the way down from your head to your toes to find where that tension might be. And then let's think about what it might feel like to be twice as relaxed as you are right now. And maybe twice as relaxed as that again. And then from this really relaxed place, I want you to see yourself in the most calming, amazing place that you could be. Maybe it's a beach, maybe it's a meadow, but you're in this place and you can feel whatever's happening around you. Maybe the sun is shining and you're warm. Maybe you can feel a breeze. Really get yourself there and breathe into that and feel that relaxation. And then from this place, I want you to see a screen in front of you, a big white movie screen in front of you. And on that screen is this new future version of yourself. And it could be anything. You could have tons of energy, you could be competing in a bodybuilding show, you could be running marathons, you could have a new relationship, you could be playing with your kids, having so much energy and joy and laughter. I want you to really see it and see every detail. Where are you on this screen? What do you look like? And most importantly, how do you feel on this screen? Do you feel capable, confident, proud? Do you feel joyful? Do you feel abundant? Do you feel whole? Do you feel safe? Do you feel like you could just take over the world and you have the energy to do it? So I want you to see that person on the screen. And now in your mind's eye, imagine this person on the screen from your future talking to you and saying to you exactly what you need to hear to know that this is possible for yourself. Maybe this future you is saying, it's so much easier than you think, and it is so incredible when you get here. It is just going to be so much fun. Maybe this future you is saying, way to go, that was cool, and now life is amazing. Maybe it's saying, you've got this, hang on, keep going. So take a moment to think about whatever this future you is saying. And again, notice how that makes you feel. Do you feel more excited? Do you feel like there is more possibility? Do you feel more energized and ready to take on this challenge in your life? And you can open your eyes now, and I want you to really think about those things that you felt and that vision you had of future you. And it's very important to think about the way it made you feel, because that way that you felt, that's what you really want out of your life and out of this fitness process. And if you can start remembering those feelings, and you can start remembering the way this future you looks and behaves and feels, it will come closer to you. Because your brain doesn't know the difference between reality out here and fantasy in here, as I just demonstrated when I told you about those research studies. So the more that we can trick your brain into seeing that future you, listening to that future you, and being that future you, the closer you will get to actually being that person. So let's talk about mistake number 3 that I have seen time and time again that is stopping women from getting the fitness results they really want. Thinking it's selfish to take good care of yourself, and especially to make time for that. So if you're anything like I used to be, and like the majority of my clients when they come in, you're completely last on your to-do list. Not to mention you never finish the to-do list, and items get shuffled to the next day and the next day. Take Jen, for example. On our epiphany call together, this 38-year-old mom of 3 finally confessed she was the first person she'd break a promise to. She was so busy trying to keep up, so scared that she wasn't a good enough mom and that she would break her children or never pay attention to them the right way. She literally cared for everyone and everything else with type A fire, and she was good at it, but she never made time for her own needs. I don't think she even realized she had needs. What's worse is that despite everything that she did for everyone, she still felt guilty and ashamed that those actions weren't enough for her, that she wasn't completely filled up by loving on those people. She was showing up for her kids, her partner, her chores, but deep down, she knew she wasn't here. And as we talked, it became really clear. She used to enjoy a lot of things in life, lifting weights, photography, hiking. She had a lot of dreams, and now, well, she was knee-deep in laundry, playing chauffeur and cook and teacher and cleaner, and she had no idea who she was anymore. Jen was also feeling a lot of secret resentment towards her family. She'd given up so much of herself, and of course they loved her and appreciated her, but it didn't fill her up. And so I asked Jen, why aren't you doing any of the things you used to do? And she said, there's not enough time. And I said, so clean underwear are more important to you than feeling joy and passion in your life? And she was speechless. Ladies, I get it. I've been there. I've felt the exact same things. And I still have the occasional freak out wondering if I'm raising good humans or failing them. But I promise you, whether they have clean socks or not, whether their dinner looks Pinterest worthy, that's not gonna make or break them. What does make or break our little people and those relationships with people we love? If we're not showing up for ourselves. If we're walking around being dutiful, waiting for someone to applaud and fill that hole of worthiness inside of us. If we can't participate in our kids' lives because we've stepped out of our own life and we have low energy, lack of mobility, or a total lack of fitness, that's when we fail our kids. You have these huge flames of light inside of you, but most of us dim that light to a tiny little flicker so we can stoke somebody else's fire because we feel obligated to do that. But in the end, that leaves our loved ones with less warmth, and it sears into our child's brains that someday they have to dim their light to take care of others. And ultimately, if you're not burning bright, I don't know how you help anybody else. How can you really show up for your family with love and energy and joy if you're not taking care of yourself and your needs the way you want to or the way you know you should? You really can't. Your kids deserve a mom who is happy and healthy and whole. And ignoring that just teaches them to do the same with their own needs. There's a reason airlines tell us to put our oxygen mask on first before helping those around us. You can't save anybody if you're not breathing. So here's how you take control of this. First, you have to get behind the belief I just talked about. If you don't believe you deserve your own time and attention, your first piece of work is to dig deep into why you don't believe this, why you're prioritizing everything but yourself. My program will help you if you're feeling some blocks there. But once you're on board with this belief, how do you actually carry it out? Here's how. I want you to sit down alone with your calendar. And before you put in family or work obligations, schedule 1 hour a week where you do something for you. And if you already do that 1 hour, schedule another hour. Your eventual goal is 1 hour a day where your actions are only for your benefit, nobody else's. But you need to gradually build from wherever you are. And this could totally involve another person, like a date night, unless you want to be alone. But it has to be something you do because you want to do it, and something that you can directly benefit from. So going to your kids' sporting events because you like watching it, or vegging out on the couch, does not count as directly benefiting your well-being. This could be really hard for some of you. You might feel totally guilty, or like you need to check with someone else for approval of your plan. But no, you have to own this as what you need for you. So schedule in that time and please treat it like any other appointment. Treat yourself the way that you would treat your doctor, a parent-teacher conference, or a work obligation. Don't cancel. Okay, so are you ready for mistake number 4 that I know is wrecking your chances of easy and effective weight loss? Here we go. You are probably relying on willpower to get you through. Just as we were talking in the previous point about how specific nutrition programs are basically useless for long-term sustainable weight loss, Relying on willpower is exactly the same. But most people do this to get them through those quick fix programs. But the truth is this: being fit and healthy isn't something you get through and then stop. So relying on willpower to buckle down, make sacrifices, muscle through to the other side, it simply doesn't work because there is no other side. And willpower is a really fickle friend, especially in the very beginning of making fitness changes. It's about as powerful as that guard dog you throw a steak in front of, which is terribly inefficient and ridiculously prone to temptation. But somehow most of my clients come to me with this idea that if they simply want it more, try harder, handle temptation better, be more diligent, then weight loss would work. And yeah, it probably would for a second if you could manage all that, but most people can't because it's not real life, which is the problem. But even if you did, you 100% would gain that weight back again if willpower is your only means to changes. So we need to break your reliance on willpower. And here's how. In my coaching program, we dig super deep into finding your why, the real reason you want to lose weight, to get fit, to have more energy, all that. And what I know for sure is that the clearer you are about why you're really making an effort, the easier it is to make the effort. So saying I want to lose 20 pounds isn't nearly enough. I want you to identify why. Think about exactly what losing that weight will make you feel, exactly what will be different in your life. It could be big and tangible, like a new relationship or more fulfilling ones, maybe a more rewarding career, a higher paying career because you have the confidence to ask for what you want. Maybe it's much happier kids because you can participate in their life. Or it could be a crazy internal change, like being really proud of yourself, feeling determined and motivated, knowing that you really can do anything you set your mind to. Or maybe it's performance-based, like how cool would it be to do a pull-up or participate in a Spartan race and feel like a total badass. Whatever these reasons are for putting in effort, figure it out, write it down, and remind yourself often. Willpower does not stop you from that slice of pizza when you're starving and didn't plan ahead. Willpower doesn't make you exercise when you're tired and don't want to. But thinking about your why, that incredible level of confidence you're going to have in your life, that really does stop those poor decisions and change your actions. So that's one part of breaking your reliance on willpower. The other part is more tangible. We have to get you in the habit of eating regularly and planning ahead. You simply can't let yourself get home from work starving after you've skipped lunch. Please know that in this situation, most people cave. You need to be eating 3 to 5 times a day, ideally 5, and taking food with you if you're away from your kitchen during the day. Although habits take time to build, you have to start that process. Changing habits has nothing to do with quick fixes and magic pills. It will take months to cultivate, but with support and coaching and small efforts of planning each day, it can absolutely be done. So when you have an incredibly clear why in place, along with the right eating behaviors that change your long-term habits, suddenly you don't need to depend on willpower, and losing weight becomes easier and actually lasting. So to recap, we've learned that mistake number 1 is thinking that you need a program. Instead, plan for life. Your nutrition needs to be effective and flexible, travel with you through life. In mistake number 2, we learned that thinking you have a food, exercise, or knowledge problem is incorrect, and that instead, working the mental magic of visualizing, developing positive self-talk, and believing in yourself and your worth is the most powerful way to change your body and your life. In mistake number 3, we learned thinking it's selfish to care for yourself leads to 0 change. So pay attention to you. Block off that time and enjoy yourself, knowing that caring for yourself will give you immense pride and joy, and it will make you take care of everyone else even better. And in mistake number 4, we learned that relying on willpower flat out doesn't work. Rely on your powerful why and the process of planning to cultivate new habits instead. When you have these elements in place, everything starts to work easier and forever. And while these principles can seem simple, harnessing the power of them will truly change your life and your body. I've seen it over and over through the years with my clients on the Front Range in Colorado. And now, for the first time ever, I am offering the opportunity to work with me directly to women outside of my own community through my new program, Find Yourself Fit. You'll get the exact blueprint I used to get and stay fit, along with the accountability, motivation, and support I have given to my one-on-one coaching clients for the last 10 years. And you'll achieve your goals faster and easier. This is an 8-week online journey to totally rewire the way you think about yourself and fitness, so you can lose weight, feel more energetic, and look and feel incredible. Not only will you become an expert at knowing how to eat and exercise properly, you'll unravel all the negative thoughts and habits that are in your way and retrain your brain for lasting weight loss success. During this program, you'll follow a simple and effective nutrition plan that tells you what to eat, how much to eat, but it also gives you options and flexibility and a cookbook to make it super stress-free to feed your family. And dietary restrictions are no problem. We'll address those needs in our intake questionnaire to be sure that this plan works for you. And then you'll learn how to take that plan and gracefully transition it into a lifestyle that you love. You'll exercise using proprietary strength and cardio programming inside my custom app, so you can do this anywhere, at any time. You'll be watching videos and listening to my directions for every move. My programs are written specifically to lean out and strengthen the female body in as little time as possible. But what makes this so incredibly different than anything else you've tried is that we'll address those mindset shifts that need to happen for lasting weight loss. You'll complete tons of mindset, visualization, goal setting, and belief-busting exercises inside the membership portal. And you'll learn exactly how to change those thoughts that are standing in your way. Now, this isn't a DIY program. We know those don't work. It is very much done with you. We have 2 live group coaching calls every week. So not only are your questions answered as you implement, so you know you're doing it right, but my team and I can ask you questions so I can understand and clarify where you might be getting stuck or distracted, so I can hold you accountable and give you solutions as you go to get it done. And there's an awesome private Facebook community, so you have peer support as well as support from myself personally and the team inside the Facebook group. So if you're a mom who's tired of playing small and not being your best self, and you're ready, truly ready to step up your game and get fit once and for all, it's time. This program is by application only, as I take a very limited number of clients at a time. And I have to make sure those who want to join the program are the right fit. So fill out the 3-minute application you see around this video, and let's talk. We'll ask you questions to understand where you're stuck in your fitness journey and what's actually causing that stuckness. And we'll listen, not just for what you're saying, but for what you maybe haven't realized. The physical fitness and life changes that you feel are so close every time you've tried to get fit, they really are that close. They're often right under your nose, but you're not approaching it right. And this is what our call is designed to help you do. On the call, we'll talk in great detail about your life and true desires. Because without this, you're gonna run out of energy and will fail again at this get fit thing. And that's the last thing I want for you. We'll flesh out your desires. We'll make it visceral. And then we'll create a path from where you are today to that vision of where you want your body and your life to be. And if at that point I feel like we're able to support you more deeply, and that's something you want to explore, we'll make you an offer to work together in our program. But honestly, we don't work with everyone that we're not 100% sure that we can help. We are exceptional at working with a certain kind of person, and what we do isn't for everyone. So if we discover that what you want is outside of our wheelhouse, we'll refer you to somebody who can help you. Absolute worst case, you'll have spent an hour talking to someone who is able to lead you to a depth of clarity that you have never experienced before. So you'll finally have a clear idea of what you want and where this whole weight loss thing might have gone wrong before. And this knowledge will allow you to shift how you approach fitness and weight loss forever. If that sounds like something you're ready for, fill out the form, Pick a time that works for us to talk. And if you set up that call within the next 48 hours, I will send you my eating out cheat sheet, totally free. This is an amazing reference guide that will allow you to eat at any restaurant, anywhere, without feeling guilty or wrecking your efforts, because that's life, right? So, just to recap, Find Yourself Fit is an 8-week, done-with-you online program with a crazy simple nutrition plan that transforms into a lifestyle, a super effective strength and cardio exercise program inside my custom app, and an online portal of powerful weekly mindset work that will truly change your life. And I will be personally coaching you through your entire process. So this is it, the moment of truth. Are you actually as ready as you say you are? I hope so, because there is nothing subtle about the changes that are coming. It's time.